Welcome back to Wisdom Rising. I'm Christine Renee, and today we are joined with Chantel Ochoa as we get into all things shamanic impact on our everyday life, and we dive right in. So I'm giving you the heads up right now, and also know that we are launching once again our Soul Rising Shamanic Reiki program. We haven't offered this year yet, and it is typically offered over 4 months, and we have decided to give it a little bit of breath and offer it over 5 months since we will spill out over the summer and end mid to late August. So if you have been wanting to receive your Reiki training, if you are interested in all things shamanic, if you want to learn how to shamanic journey for yourself and commune with nature, if you want to be able to have that direct revelation through spirit, through your own wisdom, without turning to a guru or teacher or mentor, and find your own answers within, this is what that training program does. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope you enjoyed this week's show, and we'll talk to you soon.
It was actually really nice watching the sunrise and the sky turn like this beautiful layers of pink and blue, and then the mountains, the hills were all green. So once the sun started breaking through, it was beautiful. I don't catch the sunrise very often.
I know. And finally, it's like the season is changing here enough. Like at the equinoxes, I'm like, oh, look, I can handle this. All right, that I can see that. So I used to be able to go out and offer my tobacco in a morning prayer. And sometimes it's just way too cold or way too dark, and it's not rising early enough or later enough. And so I feel like we're in a sweet spot. So that's nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's feeling that alignment, being in sync with it.
Mhm.
It's like it's perfect for our conversation today with shamanism and everything connecting to the earth and all of it. But yeah, I'm not a big morning person. I'm not one that likes to hop up as soon as the sun rises, but when I do, I embrace it and I love it and I appreciate it, and it carries me through to the next one.
I want to be a morning person. I really do.
Yeah,
I, I wish that I could just roll out of bed and go enjoy the dew on the grass and watch the grass grow and the sun rise and listen to the morning bird song. Like that would be amazing, but I am the same way. I want an hour lying in my bed, just chilling, and then I want to get up. But
hmm
that is even rare. Like I have kiddos that I have to get up to get to school and do the things. And so it's like, all right, we get 10 minutes of lying in bed and listening to my spiritual morning motivating music. And then I got to get up and do the thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that a lot of times too, we wake up already doing work. There's already those spiritual downloads, there's already messages, things that are coming through that. So for me, staying in bed is like I'm already doing stuff. So I wish I could get up and be like the one that wants to hit the gym or do some kind of something. I just don't. So
Well, and I have to
I
say,
make
like,
it work for me.
I'm right there with you because I've been waking up at 2 in the morning and I'm awake from like 2 to 6 in the middle of the night. I've done this twice in the last week, right? And I am seriously working. Like, yeah, I'm in a deep trance state, but I am working on my business energetically and getting the downloads of what the next steps are. Like, it's been really intense. And so it's like, I told
Really intense.
it's been really intense. And so it's like, I need to welcome, like, instead of like getting mad about not sleeping, it's like, okay, no, I'm actually doing the work exactly as it's supposed to come. Let's, let's listen. Let's pay attention. Let's get up and journal. Let's do whatever it needs to do because they're waking me up at 2 in the morning for a reason. Maybe it is my cortisol levels are shot and they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that are feeling that too, where they're waking up in the middle of the night and they're having their thoughts are going. Like I even have to tell my brain, you're safe, you're good. Let's just relax. Like I feel like the moment I even have a tinge of wake up, my brain is already full blown thinking and doing things. And I'm like, why? What are you doing? Like I'm not even conscious. Like, there should be no thoughts happening right now.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's the astrology. I don't know if it's time of year. I don't know. I know that we're on very close to a lunar eclipse. That's tomorrow. Like, I just feel like there's just been a lot of energy. I feel like there's a lot of energy for all of the light workers to kind of step the fuck up and like do the damn thing.
Yeah.
And here's that horse energy. And it's like, okay, here we are. What are we doing today? And I feel like last week was a week of kind of, I don't know, I felt like I was kind of fumbling through it. Like, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What's the priority? What's not the priority? How are we going to do this? And then it was just like, Christine, hello, you know what you need to do. Like, let's get organized. Let's make those decisions and let's put them on the calendar and let's say yes to moving forward with a thing that is so true for you and Chantel and the company, and let's just do it. So here we are.
And here we are. Yeah. And I love, yes, it is. It is calling light workers forward. So we are embracing that here at Moon Rising. And so all of you who are listening and watching, and if you're stepping up, let us know because we definitely are. And we're all feeling the call in the pool. So
So yeah,
however that is for you. Yeah.
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 So welcome to the call. We today our conversation is really on how shamanism impacts our daily life. And I'm really excited to bring this forward because it really is the backbone of Moon Rising Shamanic Institute, right? Learning how to integrate and weave forward all of these different spiritual tools and animism and nature-based understanding. All of these things are coming forward to really say, look at me, pay attention to me. Let's walk the spirit life. And I'm really excited to be joined here with Chantel to have a conversation. So thanks for being on with me.
Yeah. I look forward to these every week for sure. One thing that I love about shamanism, it really is taking us back to our center point and nature and just being in that moment of awareness of self and everything that we're surrounded by. And it's not a religion. It's not anything that we have to a doctrine or anything. It's literally just connecting to all the energies around us, our spiritual world, to nature, to all the unseen realms, and to our spiritual body. So it is an invitation from this realm to just sit with it and say, what do you hear? What do you feel? What do you see? What messages are you receiving at this moment? And going and doing that deep inner work.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a calling in of doing that deeper inner work of like, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? What's the purpose of this? And I feel like there's this balance coming in that shamanism really offers of that grounding energy. It is so earth-based of not only recognize the presence of where you're at, what is happening right now inside of you, but what is happening immediately around you. Where is the earth? Where are the birds? Where is the sun rising? How are you in relationship with the season? Like, how are you recognizing your own internal, uh, it's your own internal systems, but also those in the immediate presence around you. And so I love stepping into this work because it is an invitation to be more present, to be more mindful. And right before we got on this call, Chantel sent me some notes, and one of them was blessing your water. I'm like, oh, have I done that today? I grabbed my water bottle, right? It's like some of these things are so inherent to us and they've become natural and they come habitual. And that's amazing and beautiful. And then it's like, are you recognizing it still? Are you seeing the beauty way of how you are stepping
Yes.
on the earth?
Yeah. And how you're connecting with all four elements. So one being water. And are you blessing that water? Are you speaking your affirmations, your intentions into it? Are you speaking health for your body? Are you speaking like that this water is going to go through you and cleanse you and uplift you and bring healing to your cells and the muscles in your blood? And when we work with it in that way, knowing that water carries memory, it is so important for us to do that. Just that simple thing. It's not a big long ritual. It's literally just holding your water and speaking into it, letting it know it's beautiful and it's loved and you're beautiful and you're healing and all of that. And so that's a simple way of just doing every day when you drink water, right? All day long, just pouring yourself with inner love.
Well, and the fascinating part with these simple rituals is that there is a psychology behind it. Like
Hmm.
I feel like science in the realm of neural linguistic programming and some of these different nervous system regulations, it's like they're finally getting the evidence of what shamanism has known all along. And so I always find that fascinating, like how we speak to our water is programmed in
Yes.
our subconscious, right? And so now we have the evidence, quote unquote,
Should
the
speak
evidence.
to ourselves.
Yeah, right. So I just find it fascinating. And that's why I feel like I'm not so stuck on the science. Like I honestly have a lot of the time where I'm like, I don't really care. Like if that's your thing and you want to deep dive into science, it's totally available. It's out there right now. Like there's evidence of manifestation and how quantum physics works and all these things. Fantastic. And it's like shamans knew this all along. Shamans knew how to walk with between the realms and in balance with their body and nature. And how can we just like honor this wisdom path? And so I'm really excited to be having this conversation because there's so much little trinkets of wisdom in it.
Yeah, there really is. And when you were talking about like animist, being an animist and everything, it's just knowing everything has energy and everything has spirit, right? So there is a consciousness that runs, that is that thread that runs through every single thing on earth, right? Even as I'm sitting here, it's like I'm listening to the wind and I'm watching it. And it's like I might have to pull my awning in, but I'm like, wow, the wind knows exactly what it needs to do. It needs to come through and blow everything away. It needs to clear the land, the surface of the earth. It needs to pull the leaves off and clear away debris and move that energy. So it's like the wind is even coming through and speaking to us in a way of like, what are you holding on to? What can we release? What needs to be shifted and moved? And then the earth is also rising up to say, yes, here's the things that need to be cleared, right? And I just think it's so amazing when we can get out of our busy minds, get out of our thought processes, and just be in the moment for a second and say, wow, things really can be extremely simple, and how complicated we make it,
Yes.
right? And it's more like you're like the mind. And so going back to even how do we speak to ourselves, that when we're programming ourselves, we're recognizing like, oh my gosh, I am telling myself whether I'm good or bad, whether I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, whether I'm thin, I'm fat, I mean, all of these things, that these conditionings that we have been taught our whole life, we are the ones that are also continuing those stories by how we speak to ourselves. And through shamanic practice, we recognize that energy feeds energy, frequency matches frequency. And so, how do you want to show up for yourself every single day?
Well, I love this idea of like tuning into the wind. Like I want to kind of pop back into that because it's like
Yeah.
how often are you having your mind is really busy or something's stressing you out or there's something that you are angry about or whatever that is and you're just stepping outside and asking the air to give you a breeze, to give you a blow, to give you a wind, to blow it away and watch how it's like nature listens to us and like
Mhm. It
listen to it.
shows up.
It shows up every time. And even if it's just a light breeze, or maybe let's say there is no breeze, but you get the intuition, touch the earth, I'll take it. Right? Like I love the way if we can slow down and pay attention to nature, all of our answers are around us. So even like I think it was yesterday morning, maybe 2 mornings ago, I was having a rough morning and I was like, I just need to take a Reiki shower and I want to do some chakra spinning. And just as I'm doing this energy, I'm giving it to the water. So no, I'm not standing out in the creek. It's too freaking cold for that. But it's this idea of the water can bring us its medicine and can wash away what no longer serves us. The wind can blow it out. The earth can recycle and compost it, the sun can bring that fire energy to remember that we too have light within us. And I just find that if we can lean into the four elements, we have such wisdom all around us all of the time.
Hmm. We really do. And we have those altered states and the ability to connect with them, right? Because when we can get into that more meditative state of relaxing the nervous system, relaxing the thoughts, and tune in to the elements around us, that's when that's how simple it is to reach an altered state, is just to breathe and relax the mind, the nervous system. And so when we do that, we can fill into all the energies around us, right? And we can start working with our spiritual team, working with the earth, and what messages are we meant to receive in the moment that we're calling the wind in. It's funny because I'll do sessions, Reiki sessions outside, and it's always the wind pops up whenever it's like that pulling out of energy of the client, right? And I always tell the client, accept that wind. It's showing up for you. Listen to the birds in the moment. It's showing up for you.
I mean, I've definitely had similar experiences like doing Reiki sessions outside, doing shamanic healing outside. My favorite is doing Reiki attunements outside.
Mm.
I remembered having a client, a student who was doing her Reiki training with me. And I was like, I have this beautiful place outside where not only the earth and the trees and the creek and the sky all come together, but it's like this magical point on the land. And I did her Reiki attunement, and two sandhill cranes in the middle of it lifted off
Mm.
out of the sanctuary space and were dancing together in the sky above her. And she started crying. She was bawling. And I was like, I'm just letting you take your time, take your space. If you want to share, feel free to share. She's like, I'm getting sandhill cranes tattooed on my forearm later this week,
Oh,
and
wow.
right. And so it's like sometimes you just don't even know like what's possible when you do these spiritual rituals and ceremonies in the outdoor space, like how much the earth is so ready to wrap its wings around us and hold us and whatever energy that we're in. And, as we speak about these four elements, it's like, before religions existed, this is what we had before hierarchy and power structures were the thing. This is what we had. It doesn't matter if it was in Asian cultures or Siberia or the pagan rituals of Ireland or the indigenous peoples of America or Australia. Everyone knew this wisdom was here at our fingertips. And it's like we're walking with the land, in relation with the land. And in that, we get to recognize that we're dreaming a dream in relationship. And so how does dreams carry messages? How does the earth's wisdom carry messages? How do we invite ourselves into a trance state so that we can have a deeper recognition of this relationship? And so it can be mystical, it can be embodied, it can be deeply practical. And I love the beauty of it.
Yes. And how it has been here, it is the first thing. It is the first thing that we learned how to connect with. And so I think right now a lot of people are just coming back to that remembering of it. They're understanding it. Even if they don't know exactly what they're doing, there is something that calls to us innately to go out and connect. It's like it's funny when you put like a baby on the earth for the first time and they want to lift their feet because it's like, oh my gosh, what is this? But then once they feel that grounding energy, it pulls them in and they want to be on the earth. They want to be crawling through the grass and all of that. But it takes a moment because I think that it's so powerful that we don't even know how to embrace it all. And now it's like we put rubber on the bottom of our feet with our shoes, and so we're really blocking ourselves and everything, but we're more or less being pulled back outside. We're being pulled back into nature, into the basic knowings of how it communicates and the benefits that it has for us, especially on a physical and mental and emotional level.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like there are so many things that we can learn from the traditional way of recognizing that the drum was the heartbeat of the earth. It's always
Hmm.
been the heartbeat of earth. This spans over so many cultures, so many traditions. The drum is the centerpiece of it is connecting us with the earth. And when it's beat at a certain rate, it can help you put yourself into a trance state because we move from an alpha wave in the brain, which is a relaxed meditative state, and into a trance state. And when we are in that trance state and we bring forward an intention, help me heal. Um, Let me learn how to be a better mother, better partner. How do I understand this conflict in my life? Like, whatever it is, if you bring it forward to the drum, to the rattle, to the breath work of it all, that helps you get in sync with the earth. How does she show up for you in your mindscape? Because now you're not in normal conscious reality. Now you're in this in between place where spirit and your consciousness and your subconsciousness are all collaborating and communicating with one another, with the divine, with the earth. And so I love teaching this practice, and it's so there's some people that have resistance to it, and there's some people that come to it as a second nature, and yet they all have the capacity to get to the point where they can set an intention and receive the messages that they're hoping to gain, right? And so yes, it can be a process, but so much of it is like, how can we let go of our mind and what it thinks it needs to be thinking about, and trust that our
Yeah.
imagination is speaking with the divine and through the divine to allow things to show up exactly as it's supposed to.
Yeah, drumming is really powerful. I mean, it's one way it can cleanse out your home, right? Energies, because you're clearing it out. You got that rhythm going, that vibration. But it is when you get into that trance, and I do a lot of drumming. I had a drumming circle last week, and there was 11 people that came, and we just drummed, and we drummed to the earth, and then we went through and we just did free drumming, like go find your rhythm, so we all kind of spread out, and then everyone was in their own rhythm doing their own thing, but you see how it just allows the stress to melt off of them, right? Like they come to group, they come to ceremony with one expression, and then they leave looking completely different. And when they're in their own free flow of filled into the drums medicine for yourself, and then we all started drumming together in sync. It was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And so, yes, the drum it's all about, you know, um, yeah, connecting to the heartbeat of the earth. And then the rattle is about that soul retrieval, which I find it interesting because when I started learning about the rattle, it's like we give babies rattles so that they can call their spirit in, right? Because they're kind of that in and out, and then they play with the rattle, they play with those toys, and it is calling their spirit in, and those soul retrievals. So these tools have been around for a very long time for us to use, and it doesn't belong to any one culture or any one region. It's for all people because we need to feel embodied within our physical experience.
Mhm. Exactly. Oh, I love that with the rattle and the drum. Like I didn't know that. I didn't think about that before. And I'm like, yeah, it totally makes sense. And when do I feel called to use the drum versus when feel called to use the rattle? And when do I feel called to use both at the exact same time? Like all of these things have so much innate wisdom in them. And part of one of my favorite things to do as a practitioner is to journey to my drum, journey to my rattle, and ask what medicine does it want to offer. And I have 4 handmade drums made by a Little Shell Tribe member here in Montana. And she's got these most beautiful drums. So I have a buffalo drum that she helped me make in a workshop. And I've got um, a, a horse drum and 2 elk drums. And they each have its own medicine. So sometimes our tools in and of themselves have a purpose, have a medicine that they want to bring forward. It's just like when you talk to a musician and they have five different guitars, and the guitar itself wants to bring forward a song, but it can only be played on that guitar. Like when it's in creation, the guitar themselves has the medicine of what it wants to bring forward. And so we can need to start, or we can start, the invitation is to start looking at, here are the tools in my toolbox. Here are the tools that I have around me, whether it's these shamanic tools, whether it is the statues, whether it is the oracle decks, whether, like, they all have their own medicine that they want to bring forward. And can we be in communication? And that's where the animism, like, if everything has spirit, the guitar, the drum, the oracle deck has its own medicine that it wants to bring forward for your uplifting, for the uplifting of others. And so it's very interesting to find the feather, to find the antler. I'm looking at my desk. I'm like, these are the things that are on my desk, and to go, can I journey to this turkey feather and go, how should I use you? How do you want to be used? And um, and listen to its own wisdom that's around us, and how when we slow down and ask for these inanimate objects to support us, or to ask for its wisdom, how do they interact in our world then moving forward? And I love other
Mhm.
tools that are like passed down. Like, I have this beautiful shaman's necklace, and the stones are all for reason and purpose, but it's like one shaman gave it to another shaman that gave it to another shaman, and now I'm in possession of it. And how does this hold its history of wisdom from all of these different shamans and move that medicine forward? And I love
Yeah.
thinking of this, right?
Yeah, yeah. It is. I brought my drum with me out here this week, and I'm gonna sit with the tree out there. And when we were driving out here this morning, I saw that it was a full moon. I was like, "Oh, I was here last month on a full moon." And so I'm like, and then I brought the drum, and I was like, I'm gonna do some drumming with the earth this week, and I'm really looking forward to that. And so it's because I want to actually do some work with my power animals this week. I want to go into the lower world. I want to go to the upper world. I want to do some work that I feel like you got to get out into nature sometimes to do, right? And I live in an area where I absolutely can go connect with nature, but I'm in a neighborhood if I was to be home, right? And here it's like, no, I can go sit in a field, in a vast field. I can go sit on a rock over there and just really connect with the energy here. And it's different than where I'm from. So I'm like, I'm really excited about it, because when you know that you can call on your power animals at any moment, they are right there with you. They're right there with you. And we have so many stories, like Christine and I, on how we have worked with our power animals, how they come and they protect us, and they journey with us, and how we teach our students to go and do the work and go and connect with their power animals. And then when you see them in life, like my primary one is a lion. I'm not going to go see mine in nature, natural nature, but you know what? It shows up for me all the time on my newsfeed, everywhere. It's like I'm always finding some beautiful lion, and I recognize the energy, the medicine that's coming forward on that. And so I am looking forward to doing that and seeing what messages I'm going to get this week for where I'm at in my life right now.
Yeah, and I love working with power animals, and my primary power animal really showed up this last week because I haven't been sleeping well, and I get that some of that is for reason and purpose, and then to go, oh yeah, my primary power animal is all about sleeping and eating and taking care of myself, and how can I tune into and lean into their medicine? So when I'm going to bed, I'm envisioning that I'm cuddling up against my power animal and asking for her medicine to help me sleep, because she loves to sleep. Like, I remember the first time I did my journey, and I was like, I wasn't surprised in the least, but at the same time, it was like, we're eating berries, and now we're eating fish, and now we're going to take a nap, and now we're going to do some more eating, and then we're going to take a nap. Like, and that's what she does. And there's no aggression. It's just so peaceful and so calm. And it's just about taking care. And sometimes especially as a business owner and like trying to figure out all of the things and how am I going to do this and that and living in this, very 3D world. It's having her reminder of it's okay just to take care of yourself. It's okay that if you need a nap to take one. It's okay to find the flow in nature and lean into what it is that your body needs. And those other moments of energy and excitement and fullness, they will come. It's not like she negates that, but she reminds me my foundation needs to be rest and food. And those have been really
Yeah.
hard for me over my lifetime.
And that is their medicine for us, is to remind us of what their traits are and how we can embody those. So the last time I actually journeyed to the lower world, we were doing embodiment of our power animal. And I did that with our class. And I was like, you know what? I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to do it with you. And so I'm expecting Lion to show up in this very like fierce kind of way and everything. And the message was, when I embodied it, I was rolling around in grass, and it said, you already know the power, that your power, you already know how to be the protector and the leader. And like, I know those traits. You don't know how to rest. You don't know how to relax. And I was like, oh. So instead of being like hunting and all these things, it literally, we were just laying in grass and rolling around and recognizing the lion sleeps for like 20 something hours a day because it stores up its energy to be able to fight off other alpha males and to go and help, kill prey and all that. And so that actually was a big message for me. And I don't, like you, I don't rest a lot. When I need to, I'm starting to learn to listen to that.
Yeah.
But the visual and the embodiment of that experience really did show me it's okay.
So just to
It's
put it
okay.
in context for everyone, this was done in our Soul Rising Shamanic Reiki training program with beginners. These are people who came into the program not knowing how to shamanic journey, and these are some of their last final journey calls. Not only can they journey into the middle world to meet their power animal or the lower world to meet their power animal, but they can embody, meaning cloak their energy within themselves and become their power animal. And so we have a lot of students that join this program who are like, I don't know if this is ever going to work. I don't know if I can journey. Like maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I don't know. And then by the end of the program, they have this confidence of, I know how to journey. I know how to take my intention and find my answers. I know how to connect with my power animal and my spirit guide. And that confidence level that everyone leaves with is so it's like it feels like a trademark. It feels like it's imprinted on the program. Like that is the intention, so that you learn how to have this direct revelation, so that if you're like, I have this health issue, for you to go to your power animal and be like, teach me, what am I supposed to know right now? What is this? What is the lesson of this? And the power animal can go, let me show you, let me journey with you, let me take you on an adventure to show you the answer. And that's magical. It's not just
That's straight magic. Yeah,
that's just
it really is.
and
And once you learn it and you are able to embody that, it's with you for life. Like it doesn't go away. It's us that blocks it. So once you learn how to journey to the lower world, the upper world, and the middle world, you truly know how to go and get that information, the medicine, the wisdom that you're seeking, right? You don't have to go outside of that. It
yeah,
really is. All the answers are within us.
right. And I think that's, for me, that's like the important piece to learn, so that we're not giving our power to gurus and to a teacher after teacher after teacher, when all of the wisdom is inside of us. And how can we learn to be our own teacher, our own guru, our own magic maker, and trust our own innate wisdom, because it's all within us. And so it's like, how do you access that, and make yourself accessible to the answers that are within? And I think that is one of the biggest purposes of why I do what I do. I think I've over 20 years in this industry, I see so many people trying to find the quick fix, the 5 steps to reach enlightenment type programs. And I'm like, there's no such thing as one right way, but there is ways to learn multiple tools that all interact and play with each other so that you can make your own rituals, like what works for you to find yourself in that trance state. And so even in this program, we'll have some people who are lying on the floor with a blindfold on and noise canceling headphones, and they're envisioning like sinking down into the earth, and they need complete isolation from any sensory. And then you have other people on the other side of the spectrum that are moving and dancing, and this is their shamanic journey, is through the dance. And it's everything in between. If like there isn't one right way to journey, it's honoring what's inside of you that allows the answers to unfold. And I think that is such a key element at Moon Rising Shamanic Institute, is that we aren't trying to make cookie cutter versions of Chantel and myself. We're trying to allow you to say yes to you, yes to what works for you. Here's the buffet table of all of the tools, but which ones are the ones that resonate for you, and lean into that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we're there to support the whole thing, the whole process of it. Even if they show up at the end of it and they feel like they're like, a lot of people will say, I think I did it wrong, or I don't feel like I got anywhere. Then we start interpreting it. They start sharing their journey and they start interpreting it. And it's like, no, look what you did and saw and experienced. And they're like, oh my gosh, I did do something, right? But immediately the mind wants to say, no, that's not real, but it is. You get the visions, you get the awareness, the knowing, the energy shifts, what, however it shows up for you. We are absolutely able to do this work. And one of the other things that I really love about our programs too, and what we do, is we teach how to energetically cleanse yourself, protect yourself. And that's why, like, you see me most of the time, I'm always clearing something. I'm burning this or burning that. And a lot of it is, one, yes, is clearing the energy. But what it does for me is it clears the mind. So not only am I energetically clearing my space and then also offering it, because energy flows where you are. And so, but I'm also clearing my own mind. I'm letting myself rise up to what I'm getting ready to do, right? So instead of being stuck in a brain fog or something, or like, oh, it's 8 in the morning, it's 9 in the morning. No, I get to cleanse myself with that sage or Palo Santo and use the element of fire to burn away what isn't serving me in the moment. And so we protect ourselves with these elements. We teach you all kinds of different ways. And so it's really important.
As your ritual to step into a space is to do the sage, to do the Palo Santo, to smudge, mine is in my breath, right? And you'll see this
Mhm.
in class, right? Like I'm like, let's all take some nice deep breaths together. And Chantel's over here going, and we're gonna smudge, right? And so and I think that it's the perfect example of, we each have our own spirit way. We each have our
Yes.
own path to allow us to drop into ourselves. And mine is in breath work, and Chantel is in the fire, and all of it's welcome, of going what works for you and how can you say yes to you, and noticing how your rituals become, and to allow the journey to go easier, and how do we create this bridge into our dream space, so that if our dreams are already happening, how can we make them work for our benefit, or how can we tell our dreams to knock the fuck off because it needs to slow down because it's too much. Like there's all these different areas of curiosity that you can lean into when it comes to shamanism.
Yeah. And then one of the other things that's really powerful within shamanism is walking with your shadow. Is being able to walk through the depths of yourself and understanding and seeing the parts of you that aren't working for you, or that have been so triggered through trauma that you need to integrate that version of yourself, right? So there's this healing that comes through with shamanism, so that you can ask yourself, why do I feel unseen? Why do I feel unheard? What parts of me are missing that I need to call back right now? And then we receive that guidance through our journey work. We get to see through the veil of ourself. And so it's really powerful when we can sit with the elements, or light a candle, or do a ritual, or journey to it and say, I am ready to embrace all parts of myself, calling me back through all timeline, space, and dimensions, and literally feel those energetic pieces being brought back to you. And it takes a few days sometimes for you to really feel the change that happens, but it does. And a lot of clients, even myself going through it, you at first you feel like, oh man, that felt really like intense. Like I feel like something was coming back, energies were being moved, but then yourself a few days, a week, and suddenly you feel like you have clarity that you've never had because there was pieces of you missing that were left in locations of your life, right? And so going through and doing shadow work through shamanism is extremely powerful.
Oh my God, I love it. Like, is it's going to show up? Like, and I think this is
Yeah.
the thing. It's like if you are in tune with your energy and you're starting this path, the things that are ready for healing are just going to float to the surface and be like, look at what's available. Here I am. It's not that we're digging for our darkness. It's look, I'm available to be seen now because you're holding space for me in a ritualistic way. You're holding space for me and not running from the scary parts of this. You're able to see this as an observer and going, how can I love all of my parts, all of who I am, even the scary parts that I wish didn't happen in my childhood? And so as we step into our shamanism work and we're focusing on the energy centers of the body and we're moving that energy through, we can really see what in my root chakra is saying, you're not safe. This is scary. You're not okay here. And really recognizing where is that messaging coming from? Is it true? Is this parts of me that needs to be supported? Or is it, do I need to honor it and be like, this space isn't safe for me? And so, and every time we move through the energy centers, there's new messages, there's new opportunity to to analyze and to love upon and to accept and to alchemize and to shine brighter. And I love this aspect of shamanism because it's not that we're scared of it. We're not
Hmm.
denying it. We're not suppressing it. As the emotions arise, they're arising for reason and purpose. And so if you have a point while you're working through the shamanic journey where you are freaking angry, it's like, be angry, be all of that anger, let it move through you, let it release from your system, and find out what is underneath all of that anger. Is it the sadness of a child of something that happened to you and the anger is your defense mechanism? Is the anger trying to be heard because it was never heard before because you had someone in your life telling you to stuff it? Like there's this is part of the healing journey of shamanism, is to really recognize that you're all of these pieces, all of these parts, and how can you show up and love yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And knowing that we can always call on our ancestors to come forward and support us. And that's real big with, our shamanic work too, is calling in our loving ancestors to say, hey, I need support, because I'm here to do this work where, whether they started it or they couldn't get it to happen or whatever, if we're the ones that are awakening to these generational traumas or curses or things that need to be broken within our family lineage, we're here to do it. So we can also call on our ancestors to come forward and help guide the way as well, right? And to say, here you go, see and listen and pay attention to the synchronicities, pay attention to what's showing up in your world, in your reality, right? Your, like you were saying, your dreams, your real, your reality, your awakened state, your dream state, they are showing up for us all the time.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's even those that we have lost in our lifetime now, they become our ancestors.
Mhm.
So who is supporting you here and now, right? Is it your parents that have transitioned, your children, your spouses? They all have messages for us, right? It doesn't have to be the great, 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 greats. It can be someone you actually knew that can be coming forward and saying, yes, we are here in this together. This is part of our soul contracts, part of our, bridging the way between this reality and the spirit realm, and being able to be the shamanic one that can walk through that can embrace all things spiritual and all things energetic, and know that there's so much more than just what we can see, touch, feel, taste in this reality, that we do have those other clairs, that we can embrace those, because once they're online, which we all have the gift of knowing and seeing and doing, it's just letting the mind rest and say, yeah, I do. right?
Right.
There are shivers coming up my spine. Why? What is that? My ears are ringing at an exact moment. Why is that? Be curious about it all. Ask what is coming forward for you. Don't put a medical label on it right away, right? Don't just say, oh, that's tinnitus. No, it might not be. It probably isn't. You got some spiritual things happening around you that are trying to give you some messages. So stop and ask yourself, what am I thinking about doing and talking about in this exact moment? What can be coming forward to say, yes, you're on the right track? Pay attention to that right there.
And I think that is where there's this waking up process, right? When
Mm-hmm.
we're in the flow, we're letting the job, the external reality dictate who we are and what we believe and how we act. And there's this piece when you start studying shamanism that you realize that you are the creator of your reality and you need to take radical responsibility for your life. And as you step into, I'm going to be the observer of what is happening in my mind, being the observer of what is happening in my body, and getting curious about why is that happening? Why do I think that way? Why do I act that way? Why is this my response when this happens to me? Like when we start becoming curious, we leave the victim behind and we start to feel more empowered. And so walking the nature way is of making that available to you. The more time you spend in this in this reality of I'm one with nature, I'm one with the divine, I embrace all of who I am. What am I supposed to be learning here in this moment? Things begin to radically shift in your life. And so, yeah, we have seen students release huge amounts of debt. We've seen students quit their jobs. We've seen students find their childhood passion and make it their relived passion. Like we had a student who hadn't been horseback riding in 20 plus years, and now she did our program and now she's competing and she's in her 60s, like I like it's finding that the thing within your soul that lights you all the way up and knowing that this is my purpose. This and to accept that joy and ecstasy can be part of your reality. Like it's not about denying the shadow and just being toxic positive. It's when we embrace all of it, you get all of it. You get the sadness, you get the anger, you get to really recognize those aspects of yourself and do some soul retrieval work to like really call back all of those lost fragmented parts that were lost during trauma so that you can really go, I am worthy to live a happy life. I am worthy to live ecstatically. I am worthy to have all of my basic needs met. I am worthy to have relationships that honor who I am and respect me. It's about creating a life where you're having healthy boundaries and being able to let yourself light up. Be excited about the things you're excited about because they're happening for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And to also really learn how the body is speaking to you, right? So for people who are, curious about like when we talk about, being healthy, calling in our health, doing all that, when we listen to our body, and this is a big thing, is being tuned in, right? When we are listening to ourselves, we can ask ourselves, why is this illness coming forward? Where is that stuck energy at, right? And that's a lot of like what you said, what you're explaining is when we're in that trauma response, it's because there's some stuck energy that's ready to come up and be released, right? And so that's what we're doing through movement, through breath work, through energy work, through mental like reprogramming and reconditioning and everything. There's so many different ways of being able to transform our physical experience, but it takes some work, like we got to say yes to ourselves. And when you say yes to yourself, that your external world changes because you're changing your internal world, because you get to change the lens, the scope in which you are perceiving your world from. And when you change, you start to change the world around you, and everyone else is going to start shifting to some degree with you. They might shift out, they might come back, they might shift with you. So it's really powerful when you can do this work for yourself, and then others also are like, what are you doing? Because you're so different. You don't talk the same way, you don't act the same way, you've put down some of those addictions. You've changed the way you eat or whatever it is, because the body wants to resonate with the energy that you rise up to. And if
Yeah.
not, there's this disconnect. So when you start raising your energy and your conscious awareness, your body is going to start rising with it. And what no longer resonates with your body, you will completely stop doing. You'll stop drinking the soda and eating the sugar and everything, because the body will become sick and you're going to go, I don't feel good. And it's because it's no longer an alignment. And it happens so quickly and so powerfully.
Right. But then once you're vibing at that other level, it's like
Yeah,
everything else shifts too. It's like
everything.
the people that you meet are also in the energetic place of expansion, right? So you can feel this tangible thing of going, I've been contracting, I've been in a contraction state, and now I'm opening, I'm expanding, I'm recognizing, I'm allowing. And you're going to find people in the same walk of life as you are. And so things shift, your jobs shift, the people in your family shift, the relationships that you have shift. And if you continue to recognize, I'm expanding, I'm allowing, I'm opening to new possibilities, that might rifle some feathers, right? And
It could, it's possible.
and at the same time, those relationships tend to be less important or fade out, and then you have these new people, these new situations, these new availability of consciousness with nature when you're not in the constriction, the contraction of your energy. And so it's a huge, beautiful, welcoming shift that I see in so many of our students of really going, all of these people who I used to be friends with, I don't want to be friends with them anymore. Like they're not in the same place. And then it's like, well, I went to this sound bath or whatever it was, and I now have new friends. I mean, we have had cohorts of students where people have become best friends and they're now inseparable. Right. And I just love seeing this because if we're all coming in together and we're walking on this journey together, whether you live across the country from each other or across neighborhoods, like there's this availability of going, I see you, I see where you're at, I'm doing the same thing over here, let's get together, let's have a chat about it, these are what's been difficult for me, how's it going for you? This is what I'm also noticing. I had this beautiful eagle fly over my house and I just know I'm on the right path, right? Whatever it may be, like you're in relationship with those that are on your path, that are meant to be there for the divine orchestration of this expansion.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when you're talking to, I was feeling into that about how people fall away or they no longer resonate. Sometimes it's a lot of it is we don't resonate with our own toxic shit.
Mhm.
Like we get sick of our own stuff to where it's like I see me and within me, I don't like this. So if that what energetically that alignment just isn't there because
Yeah,
we're not in alignment with ourselves with it.
right, right. And so you find your own truth path. You say
Hmm.
yes to you. And the more you say yes to you, going, wow, this feels good. I love this technique and I want to do that on the regular. And, like I remember when COVID hit and I was like, oh, thank God. There was this moment of like, because it let me take my time in the morning to take my, like, to bring it full circle of like, I don't want to get out of bed. I want to have my moment in my trancy state of when I'm waking up to be in union and connection with with spirit. And when I could have that time, not rush, and can go into a meditative state and maybe do some of my meditation practices or my yoni yoga or gentle movement or dancing, it changed my whole day. Right. And so it's going, what worked for me was I needed the world to say, pause, time out. You don't have to get your kids to school because it was so stressful, and go, you know what? I'm not going to wake my kids up. I'm going to let them sleep until 9. And if they're up before that, there's cereal on the table. And I'm going to take my time because I'm going to do me, because then I'm going to be a better mom, and I'm going to be a better wife. And I'm going to be able to continue my journey exactly where it needs to unfold. And so it's just recognizing, where am I in a state of expansion? Where am I in a state of contraction? And when you're in a state of a contraction, is that something that you're ready to release? There's no pressure. It's like there's a choice. How does this feel contracting? And what needs to be done to let it open, to let it allow, to let it expand? And oftentimes that's where the shadow work is. And like, okay, we're back in it.
It's allowing ourselves to get out of the pressures of today's energy, today's world, and actually kind of go back into a time when things are a little easier and more peaceful and more in sync and more in tuned. And that's what we're doing, is we're with shamanism, is we are going back into a time and space that we can just truly connect with our surroundings.
Yeah. So beautiful. So yummy. So if you've been listening in and you're like, what is the Soul Rising program? Check out the show notes, check out the comments. We are opening this up for early bird enrollment this week. And we start the week of March 29th. Now, I get the same question every single time we launch this. When are the calls? The calls are up to you, meaning that we will send you a call survey so that we know what your schedule is and what your availability is. And then I will Tetris it together so that we can come up with 1, 2, or maybe even 3 calls, so that every single person can come to 1 call a week. They're identical calls. So if you're not sure time wise what will work, we've also added a full additional month to this program, because normally we teach it in 4 months. Normally we start teaching every September and every January. And this year, the timing, it was not coming together for this. And now it is. And so when I tuned into spirit, when I was having those early morning reflections, it was just make it 5 months. Like, just give them an extra week for every module and give them the flexibility, because this is summer. And in summer, people are going to want to take vacations, and people are going to want to have the flexibility with their time. And so allow it, allow the breath. So instead of having it be 3 to 4 hour time commitment a week, it's going to be more like 2 to 3 hour time commitment a week. And so we really want to invite you to feel into, if we start, we're going to be starting at the end of March. We'll go through almost all of August. And it's going to have that breath in it to really allow you to go, I have a family vacation, to go ahead and take it. Know that we're still going to be there to support you through it. And that this is a chance for you to find the wisdom of your own body, your own spirit, your own mind, to really show up for yourself and to allow that expansion to occur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so if you look at us and you're like, how do they do that? Know that this is how you do that. You join this program, you learn how to do it, and you do it for yourself. And like she said, it gives that breath, and everything is recorded. So when you're ready to take that vacation and come back, the recording is there and available for you to not just keep going without skipping a beat.
Yeah. And then it's an app, so you can take it with you. You can
Oh yeah. Yeah.
binge on the flight. You can, just keep having your community in your back pocket, so that if something comes up, you can message the group. We're all here to support you, whether you are in your hometown or not. Like, I just really feel like this is the divine timing of this. Like, to have this over 5 months instead of 4 feels really good to my nervous system. And so I know that this is a yes. So I'm very excited to be offering it at this time. We'll be in early bird pricing this week. And then we'll really an early bird pricing. The extra discounted pricing is happening right now. And then the price will go slightly up in 1 week's time. And then we'll be enrolling all month of March. So we hope that you take a look at the website, you feel into it, you meditate on it, you walk on it, you connect with nature on it, and see if this is right for you.
Hmm. So excited.
So excited.
I really am, because when we thought about not having it, I was honestly, I was bummed. I was like, no, this is our signature program. We got to keep this going. And then when the messages and the alignment started coming, it was like, yes, it is. And
Yes,
it is time.
it's time. It's time. And
It's
we'd
time.
love to take the time with all of you. So please take a moment, take a breath, feel into your body, and see if this is a yes for you. If you want to jump on a call, feel free to book a discovery call right off of the website or DM me on Facebook or Instagram. I'm available to talk it through to see if this is really the right choice for you. So with that, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for joining with us this Monday morning. And till next time, have a beautiful week.